So welcome back to my little YouTube channel. I've owned a number of EVs over the years, all shapes and sizes and battery sizes, predominantly the Nissan Leaf, arguably the world's best-selling EV since 2011. But this is the first Ioniq I've ever had, and we've done nearly 1,000 miles in this. I've given this a lot of thought and I've come to this conclusion. This is the best EV I personally have ever owned, and I'm going to tell you why after this. So it's not a great looker. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, so they say. But a lot of the looks of the Ioniq are down to aerodynamics, and what the Koreans have done here, Hyundai, is something that I honestly think that Nissan should have done from day one. Is not just rely on its looks and its kit and its equipment, but sort of what is underneath, what's underneath the skin of this. The engineering that's gone into this makes this the most efficient EV out there. So I've just got some stats here which I've noted earlier. The drag coefficient of this car we've just been talking about, this is 0.24, whatever that means, but that's very low drag coefficient. The 40 kilowatt Leaf, which is what I'm going to compare this to, blow for blow so to speak, is 0.28. So this is 0.24, the new 40 kilowatt Leaf, the new shape Leaf, is 0.28. So the new 40 kilowatt hour Leaf is more draggy. It doesn't cut through the air like this does. This is also known as the wind knife on social media, and I now know why. Other stats, again comparing this to a 40 kilowatt hour Leaf, this weighs 1,495 kilograms. The 40 kilowatt Leaf weighs 1,580, so this is lighter. And the other great thing about the Ioniq and Hyundai is that this is known as the 28 kilowatt hour Ioniq. 28 kilowatt hour is usable battery capacity. This actual capacity, what it's physically built with, is 30.5 kilowatt hours. Do they call it Ioniq 30? No, they call it an Ioniq 28 kilowatt hour because that's what you can use. What did Nissan do? Well, they have a Nissan 40 and the Nissan 62. The Nissan 40 kilowatt hour has a usable 36 kilowatt hours of usable battery. Do they call it the Nissan Leaf 36? No, they call it the Nissan Leaf 40. As much as I applaud what Nissan did back in 2011, 2012 in bringing the Leaf to market, the first mass-produced electric vehicle, the first proper electric vehicle I owned was a Nissan Leaf 24. It's great that they did that, but I honestly think they've lost their way. I really do, after living with this for 1,000 miles. This is just an all-round better EV. What other stats have I got here? The Nissan Leaf, famously with its rapid gate, we all know about rapid gate, will throttle back the charge speed depending on the temperature of the battery. But even best case scenario, I've only ever seen 45 kilowatts from a 50 kilowatt rapid with the Nissan Leaf. This, if you pulled up to one of the new rapids that are 100 or 150 kilowatt output power available at the rapid, this can charge up to 69 kilowatts. The Leaf can only ever charge up to supposedly 50, but I've only ever seen 45, 46, briefly for a few minutes, and then it starts throttling back. This will charge, if it's offered, at 69 kilowatts. Awesome, rapid charging speed on this as well. And a reason for that amazing rapid charging speed is this has got, basically, behind near the rear seats, you see this vent here? So that is to aid the battery cooling. So yeah, there's no real rapid gate issues with the Ioniq because they've got a basic form of cooling for the battery pack should it need it. So yeah, it's not the best looker, but all this aerodynamics, the rapid charging speed, the usable capacity makes this one of the best EVs I've ever owned. I really do think this is a vastly underrated vehicle. My wife is 5'2". That's her favourite driving position. And here's my driving position. Absolutely awesome. It really is a great thing to live with. I like the control system as well. Really nice and easy to live with. So lots of options on here. I love this screen. So let's just go to the Eco driving screen history. There we go. So where are we? 27th of the 11th. My wife, that was yesterday, she did 85 miles in this. Now my wife is not as geeky as me. She averaged 4.8 miles per kilowatt hour yesterday here on Orkney. And it was what, 3-4 degrees, and she doesn't hang around. It is super efficient, it really is. So actually it's automatically come up with a little star. So she's been to date had the best economy out of this. And I say she doesn't play with the flappy paddles like I do. I like to play with. Talking of which, the flappy paddles, best thing since sliced bread, really are amazing. Let's put it into drive. There we go. So we've got regen 2, regen 3. Now if you pull the right hand paddle, it goes to no regen, and believe you me, when you drive with 0 regen, this just coasts, it floats, and even if you're into a strong headwind, you will not lose any speed, because it is the wind knife. It just cuts through the air so efficiently. It's just a remarkable piece of kit. Other great feature, which I've only just found out really, there's a little sensor here, detects the moisture in the car, will automatically start dehumidifying the vehicle. The heater is so efficient. So if you were to put the heat's on now, once it's up to temperature, it takes so little from the battery, it really does. And that's everything else, the day running lights and the computer, etc. Everything works really well. I love the driver only heating system. Lots of extras. I love the wireless charging for your smartphone. The heated seats are 3-point stage heated seats, and also cooled. But obviously on Orkney, it's not a great demand for cooled seats. Heated steering wheel is lovely. And just little things on the dash, like when the steering wheel turns off, a little message comes up here to tell me the heated steering wheel has maxed out on its time, so you just have to turn it back on again. There's just so many great cool features in this car. So again, let's just have a look at the styling. From the back, I'd say from the back here it looks very Prius, and that's because the whole thing has been obviously designed and engineered in a wind tunnel to make it the most efficient to cut through the air. That's why we've got this sort of sloping roof line and the chopped off rear end. Now this has not been washed, as you can see, so interestingly there's no rear wiper, because you know the Aerodynamics keeps this relatively clean, except for the rear piece of glass at the back does get pretty dirty, and the rear camera, which is just here, obviously collects dirt. But you know, walking around the car and just wiping the lens, it's not the end of the world. But again, because it creates dirt, that's all the aerodynamics, all the air swirling around behind as it slips through the air. Now, one of the other great features of the aerodynamics on this car, next to the day running light, is this little vent here. Now a lot of manufacturers will put vents and air scoops and various gubbins for the car to look good, but this vent actually serves a purpose, because in here, and where you can see it on the camera, there is a slot just near my fingers and this actually goes through to the vents at the front, and this basically creates almost like a nice air curtain down the front of the car, so that driven at speed the air gets smoothed out over the rotating wheels, which of course will smooth any turbulence, which improves its drag coefficient of the car. So I really love the Ioniq. We will always have one in our family. When this is sold, we will be getting another. Even with only the 28 kilowatt hour, in the summer you'll get 140 miles without really trying. In the winter, 100 to 110 miles. And it's such a good EV. I'm not knocking the Leaf. It's a great car. It got me really seriously into EVs, and I've sold hundreds of Nissan Leaf, 24s, 30s, 40s as well. So if you're thinking about getting an EV, get a Leaf. If that's what you want, if that floats your boat, get a Leaf. That's great. But if you want something super efficient, and believe me, if you don't drive an EV now, once you get into EVs, you want efficiency. That is something that all us geeks really enjoy seeing, is how far you can get on the least amount of electricity. If that's your bag, if that floats your boat, get yourself one of these, because you never stop grinning, because it is so efficient. It really is. So, you know, the 38 kilowatt hour usable, the new facelifted Ioniq, it's got some more different detailing on the front, but the body shape looks exactly the same, and they've changed the interior slightly. That would be nice, but for me personally, for us and our family, that is more than adequate. Really is. So there you go. My little thumbs up for Hyundai and the Ioniq. I'll say it once more. You're probably getting this impression now. That's a cracking EV. It really is the best thing I've ever owned that's all electric. Anyway, thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe and share, or don't, or leave a comment below. If you got an Ioniq, what do you think to it? And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.